What's up, dudes? Chooch back with another one. Today I'm going to be giving you guys a full masterclass off-road trail riding tutorial for electric unicycles. Now, if you guys out there want to make the decision and you get faster at riding trails, this is the video for you. If you enjoy just trail riding and just doing everything at your own pace, I loved it too whenever I first started riding EUCs. So, you know, just get out there and enjoy the ride. But if you truly want to get better and you want to get faster at riding these things, there's a lot of little techniques and a lot of improvements, a lot of little things you can do to get faster. And the faster you ride these things, the more fun it is. It's like you're in a video game. Riding these things fast on a trail is just second to none. It is so much more fun than street riding. And I love street riding, but when you're riding these things on a trail and you have to be watching your pedals, you have to be calculating every corner, the terrain, and you get to see these stunning views wherever you get to go ride trails, it is so much fun. And riding them fast with good technique is a blast. So I'm going to give you guys the rundown on a few things you can do to improve at trail riding and a lot of things that I've kind of learned over the years from riding. And if you've never tried riding an electric unicycle on off-road trails, whether it be mountain bike trails, dirt bike trails, it is so much more fun than riding a two-wheeled, whether it be an electric dirt bike or a actual dirt bike. And I come from racing dirt bikes. I come from a background of racing, enduro, and hair scramble. And I'm telling you, the electric unicycle is so much fun because the power to weight ratio is just outstanding. And you can go just as far, ride all day on these things.
Single track down.
Right on.
Wild, dude. Be careful.
Parts that are like kind of like big holes, you know, you just want to watch for that.
You got bigger balls than us going down that
It's
thing.
like you're suited up well enough for it.
Yeah,
You know,
I've
so
learned, dude. I've learned it's worth it wearing the gear. You know, easier to put on knee pads and have busted knees.
That's so true.
All right, if I get in the way or whatever, just give me a you, and come on by me. So have a good one.
So starting with tip number one. This is going to be the most important thing I can tell you when it comes to riding electric unicycles, guys. Or probably there's a few things that are important, but here's one really important one. You're going to, all your power, everything you do, every movement you make starts from your core on the electric unicycle. It's not in your legs, it's not in your hips, it's not in your head, it's not in your arms, it's all in your core muscles. And if you can just keep your core engaged, your core muscles, your abs engaged, and just keep them a little bit more tensed up while you're riding and get more of your power, draw your power from your core. It's hard to explain, but once you do it, it's going to make everything just click and it's so much easier. So you see right here, my core stays engaged the entire time. And the electric unicycle trail riding, guys, it should be a workout. By the time you're done from your trail ride, if you're riding with the right technique and the right posture, your abdomen should be sore at the end of a ride. And this is incredible. This is an incredible way to work out and work your core muscles without really noticing it. It's like a stealth workout, and it is great for you. And another thing is, guys, that's probably my main tip right there. And you have, in combination with that, always ride with bent knees. When people talk about EUC zombies or electric unicycle zombies, what they're talking about is this whole thing where people start riding these things, and I don't know what it is, but they just never bend their knees. They ride them completely standing straight up with their knees basically locked out at the sockets. And guys, that is not the way to ride one of these things. You have to ride with your knees bent all the time. Even my pants right here they're motorcycle pants, and they have a bend in the knee because I'm always riding in that bent knee stance, and they feel more comfortable instead of having the bagginess of them. So these are the Fox Legion pants, and they are made for like sitting and riding on a motorcycle or being in that kind of attack position that you ride a motorcycle in. And the crazy thing is about electric unicycles, guys, is all of the nuances and everything they try to teach you for riding dirt bikes correlates so well to unicycles because you're already standing on the pegs. One of the biggest things, hear me out on this, one of the biggest things for riding off-road on dirt bikes is always standing up. My dad actually, whenever I raced dirt bikes, he was really into, coaching me and getting me to ride with all the right techniques. And he took my seat off my motorcycle, and I had to do one race one time because I was always sitting down. He's like, you got to stand up on the foot pegs. and he took the seat away from me, and I had to race the whole time, and I could hear the bike sounded so much louder because the air filter was just right there roaring. I had no seat, but I had nothing to sit down on, so it forced me to stand up the whole time. And with unicycles, you have to stand up when you're trail riding, of course, but I'm telling you guys, the technique, it translates perfectly over from the motorcycle, and you have to be in the attack bent knees position like you're riding the foot pegs of a motocross bike, and all of the work comes from the core. It feels like just like you're racing a motocross bike. And if you get good at riding one of these electric unicycles off-road, and then you started riding a dirt bike like on trails, you would probably be really good at it, just because of how like identical the whole technique is. It translates perfectly. So core engaged, attack position, knees always bent, and maintain that. Even if you have to ride at a slower speed, dial in that technique, ride with good technique at the lowest speed you need to, and then slowly work up. And you're gonna be so much safer too if you're riding with those bent knees, because you can just take on any big bumps, any big challenges like that, and you're ready for it. You're not gonna just hit it and like that bump right there that I just hit. If I would have had locked out knees, I would have hit that and flown straight forward off of the unicycle. So just having those bent knees just helps you be ready for everything, and it's just how you're supposed to ride these things on the trail. Now, tip number 3, guys, is going to instantly make you faster, and it's probably the easiest tip to apply out of all of them. And I really want you to try this next time you go out for a trail ride or riding off-road on these things, or just street ride. And that is, guys, you've got to look all the way as far forward as you can. I'm talking head up, looking all the way towards your next corner. And it is going to make you ride at such a higher speed, so much faster. One of the things they teach you in dirt bike racing for trail riding is if your front fender came off of your dirt bike, you should never even notice it. You should be able to complete the whole race, and then you should end the race, and if your front fender's gone, you should never even notice that it's there. And that's just a way of saying always look out far ahead, look very far forward, because if you start looking at all the little rocks, all the little nuances in the trail that are right in front of you, you're going to start trying to overreact to it. And if you're carrying at a high speed, your reaction time's not nearly quick enough to be able to respond to all that. And what will happen is if you look far ahead down the trail, you're just going to naturally, your peripheral vision is going to see everything it needs to see, and you're just going to glide over obstacles you wouldn't believe, and just let the machine do the work, let the suspension handle those little small bumps, and you just need to be looking ahead at where you want to go. And that is the main key thing with trail ride. You have to look where you want to go, and you will go there. One common thing, like if you start trying to get better and faster on the trail, and one of the biggest mistakes that you'll make, whether it be riding dirt bikes or electric unicycles, is the faster you go, you start to kind of look at the trees you're approaching, and you'll panic and you'll look at the tree, and that's when you're going to hit it. Trail riding one of these is basically this. You're going to want to look as far as you can from point A, wherever you're at on the trail, all the way as far down to where the trail, basically you can't see it anymore. That's point B. And then you want to try to ride from point A to point B as fast as you possibly can until you can see the next point B. And you just look far ahead and ride as fast as you can to that point until you can see a farther point. And that is literally how simple it is to ride fast. You just have to break it down that easy. The next tip I have is probably my favorite, and this is going to be, you need to ride everything but your core needs to feel like it's loose. So like I said, your core, a lot of everything you're going to want to do, your power generation, every muscle movement, everything like that starts with the core. But the only thing on your body that really needs to be tensed up is your core muscles. Everything else needs to be loose. Your legs need to be loose. Your arms need to be loose. And you need to ride in a very loose style. And what that means is, hey, if you hit a rock and this thing tail whips or drifts out like that, you just have to flow with it. And not, if you're riding in a really like tense posture, and I just hit a little rock or something the wrong way going up this hill climb right here, what it's going to do is just shoot the wheel out sideways, and I'm going to go crash into the ground. But if I ride in a loose manner, and guys, this only comes with being able to predict your machine. and that only comes with riding more. So you're going to be able to predict how your machine's going to behave the more you ride it. And so you're going to be able to ride in a very loose way the more miles you get under your belt on your machine, because you're going to know exactly how it's going to behave. Being loose riding your electric unicycle off-road comes from anticipation of what your machine, specifically your machine's going to do. And really the only way to improve that is just time and experience on your specific machine. Just knowing how much traction you got, how your tire handles. And another key thing is your tire pressure, guys. You see right there, that's what being loose is. That little skid out right there, that's what being loose is. A lot of riders, if you're a new rider right there and you're tensed up, you'd have hit that little loose spot right there and gone right to the ground. But being loose, letting that unicycle step out and do its thing, and then being able to recover, that's what it's all about. Another thing is that tire pressure, guys. I'm running about 28 psi. That is my sweet spot off-road tire pressure. That is what I like. I've run that for years, and that just seems to be perfect. You don't want to be going over about 28 psi off-road, because you're going to just start losing traction in your corners. And also the ride is going to be really rough, because even within a suspension electric unicycle, a lot of suspension on one of these comes from your tire, that little bit of give in that tire. Because for years we rode these things with no suspension, so the only real technical suspension you had was being able to lower that tire pressure a little bit. But one of the things about that is you don't want to lower it too much, because then you're going to risk damaging your rim. Now, these new unicycles, the rims on these are so good and so well built because they thought all this through. You got really heavy riders riding at very low pressures, hitting stairs and all that stuff you see nowadays. So the rims can handle a beating compared to what they used to be able to. And you have suspension there. So realistically, even if you want to lower your pressure down to like 25 or so, you could, but I wouldn't do it if the trail has like really jagged rocks on it and such. And there's not a lot of trails out there that do have a bunch of like jagged rocks, etc. But you just don't want to be coming flying down a trail and hitting like a sharp edge rock with like under 25 psi in your tire, because you're gonna dent your rim. And that's easily avoidable by running, about 28 psi as the lowest for your trail riding. You will never have any problems with a dented or damaged rim. And my fifth and final tip is going to be some advice and kind of a tip. So this is for the people out there that have tried trail riding like this, and you may have gone out and you might have gotten like a little bit of fatigue on the inside of your legs, or it just may have been uncomfortable. You might have gotten like some bruises, or something from from the thing pushing on the inside of your leg in the wrong way. And with trail riding like this, there's a lot more bumps, there's a lot more force and everything going into the way you're going to be riding this. But just give it some time. Don't be discouraged by it. Within 2 or 3 months of practicing some trails like this, what's going to happen is your muscles are going to adapt to it, and you're going to get a technique that's your body's just going to learn the technique to ride this in a much more comfortable way. But it just takes a little bit of time. It takes some miles of riding, and you're going to adapt to how to corner this thing and how to ride it to where it feels graceful. It's not going to be putting any pressure on you. You don't want to have any blisters. You shouldn't be sore anywhere, guys, except for your core muscles, your quads a little bit, and maybe your calves, but you shouldn't have any sort of soreness or anything from riding one of these off-road. But you will have it for the first 2 or 3 months if you're a brand new rider, just because your muscles haven't adapted yet. And another thing, guys, is on how to corner. This is a big thing. This is going to be on smoothness and how to ride more comfortably. You want to always be on the balls of your feet. You want to be on the not on your toes, not on the heel, on the balls of your feet. That's the perfect pivot point. And if you've ever seen an EUC rider lose their balance going forward and they just full send accelerate, whether it be off-road, on-road, or whatever, that's what I'm talking about. You never want to lean on your toes or all the way on your heels. You want to be on the balls of your feet even when you're braking and accelerating, and also when you're cornering. And this thing should just be pivoting perfectly between your legs. You shouldn't be yeah, of course the wheel comes up to the top up there, and I have a pad on the top of the wheel, but that's light pressure. There's not much pressure going into the top of the wheel, and all is coming from the balls of my feet down there, that pad right behind my toes, not all the way on the heels, not even on the arch of my foot. It's just right there. That's where all the pivotness comes from, and that's what's going to make you be able to ride gracefully and with no fatigue, no, harsh, pressure points, anything like that. And for the last tip, guys, it's all about cornering. To be able to corner faster on electric unicycles, if you have a berm there, go full send around the berm. Just take it like you would on any other motorcycle or bicycle. But for your flat corners, you got to really, really make sure your traction is maintained. So that's why I've developed this little technique. You see me doing this little reverse burnout when I go into a corner. This is going to keep me going straight down into my corner or before my apex. I'm going to stay completely up and down, and I'm going to scrub all that speed off by doing that little reverse brake technique before I start to angle into my corner, which that's going to make, because if I angle into the corner as fast as I'm going and as slick as this surface is, I'm just going to slide out. So my best bet is to come in, do that little, all you got to do is kind of unweight, little hop, little unweight, and then kind of lean back a little bit, and it's going to just do that reverse little rooster tail. It looks cool. It's so much fun. I think it scrubs way more speed off than just coming in and braking, and it maintains like the perfect posture. I don't know how to explain it, so just give it a try. Next time you go out, just give it a try. Just start fooling around with it and just see how you like it. But anyways, dudes, if y'all enjoyed the video, throw it a thumbs up. Comment down below if y'all want to see any more tips, tricks. I'll try to do it. And if you guys want to pick up any new electric unicycle, hit the e-wheels link below. I'm riding the Beidou Blitz right here. If you want to get any electric unicycle, it doesn't have to be this one. If you want to pre-order any of the new wheels coming out or purchase one, use that e-wheels link below, and it gives me a little commission. It helps me keep making these videos, and I greatly appreciate it. I'll see you dudes in the next one. Peace.